In this video, I want to explain you how you can increase the likelihood of success of your application. Now, if it's the first time that you are watching my videos, my name is Justo, I'm 23 years old, and I'm in a path of creating 12 apps in 1 year. I already built the three first application, and now I'm building the fourth one, which is Kobo. Kobo will help you get users for your app. This challenge comes from failing completely when I was, I believe, 18 or 19 years old, a couple of years ago, when I was creating an app that helped people choose their vocation, their career path. I spent like 8 or 9 months thinking about building the app instead of building, getting feedback, and iterate, which is the most important thing when you are building a startup. So I have failed and I have succeeded on other applications. So I have seen like both sides, and once I wrote the book from, I believe it was the Lean Startup Method to build the applications. I understood why I failed in some applications and why I succeed in other applications. That's what I want to explain you in this video. So I believe the first and most important thing that you need to know when you're building a startup or you're building an application, this is the most obvious one, is you need to launch as fast as you can to start gathering feedback. It doesn't mean that you need to launch a public version, but at least a private version of your application to start gathering feedback from users, from real people. Because this is the first mistake that I made when I was building the CD. I was creating the application completely blind because I wasn't paying attention to the feedback, and it's one of the most important thing that sometimes we don't want to accept it because it means modifying different parts of the application and maybe throwing away things that we thought that were useful, but it's one of the core steps that we need to do and that we need to go through when we are building an application. You just need to apply the Lean method, okay? Launch, measure, learn, and iterate, or know when you need to pivot on your application. Now, the second tip is understanding that the faster you complete that cycle of launch, measure, learn, and iterate, the more you increase the chances of succeeding with your application. Because instead of building based on assumptions, you are building based on real feedback. I mean, feedback from people that are using your application. Now, the third thing that you need to understand is that not all feedback is useful. You need to start paying close attention to the feedback that you receive. You will start identifying patterns between all the messages that you receive, but it's important to only talk to users or people that are in your niche, because a very silly mistake that I made when I was a complete beginner building applications is that I was receiving feedback maybe from friends, family, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Feedback from people that are not in your niche is not useful because they don't really know if the solution that you are applying to the problem is assertive. So number three, I believe it would be defining. This will be like the first step, because you need to define very clearly the problem that you are solving and for which audience. Because otherwise, if you don't define the clear problem and you don't niche down, you will start competing with companies that have been on the market maybe for 10 years, 15 years, or 5 years, and they have a complete team and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for marketing. Now, another thing that you need to do if you want to be successful creating your app is launch features in short quantity. Don't launch like a version with a lot of features, because this is mostly for startups that already have a team and things like that. If you are building on your own, it's slightly different, but it's also important, because if you launch a lot of features at the same time, if you need to modify something, you will need to go again through the design phase, then code the feature again, and then launch again. And that takes a lot of time and slows down the cycle of building, measure, learn, and iterate. So if you build a small feature and you launch, in case you need to modify something on that specific feature that you just recently launched, it will take you like a couple of minutes maybe to redesign something, or maybe a couple of hours. It doesn't matter, but you won't be like you won't spend 7 days building a completely new feature from scratch, then coding it again, and then launch. It slows you down a lot. Sorry. Launch, measure, learn, and iterate, and know when you need to pivot. And also, you need to pay really close attention to the app to know when you need to completely change a feature, when you need to kill a feature, because sometimes we don't want to do it because maybe it took you like a lot of time to code a feature, but if you are able to pivot early, you will be able to launch 2x faster and start gathering feedback faster. So I believe that would be all. I mean, there are some tips. These are some tips that I would give to myself if I could go back in time. I hope this video helped you. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, you can subscribe. You can hit the like button and turn on the notification bell so you don't lose the next upcoming videos. On the next couple of days, I will launch the waitlist or Kobo app, which will help you, as I said, get users for your application. If you want me to help you build your startup or build your software as a service, I will leave you a link on the comments section so you can book a one-on-one call. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.